going to take Tasha. Tasha is a gal coming out of the Lone Star state of Texas,
Mm.
and she's asking, is the belief in aliens becoming a religion? Tasha, what do you think? Do you think it's becoming
Hi.
a religion?
Hi, Tasha.
Um, well, from what I've seen, I have a friend who has become disconcerted with Catholicism, and she's going on her spiritual journey to find something that fits for her. And it seems to me that what she's landed on is that she has a creation myth. The aliens seeded humanity on the earth.
Mhm.
She has them watching over us. They visit in spaceships and watch over us.
Mhm.
And they interfere with us by kidnapping people and doing things.
Doing
Like,
things.
what are they
And
doing? What are they doing?
Nefarious things.
I'm not sure what the aliens do when they kidnap people. It's just
Mm.
her
I want
assertion
to
that
find
they
out.
do this.
They
I
get our
want to
best
volunteer for
recipes.
that.
Yeah.
I would like
Yeah.
that experience. I'm all about the experiences. So I want to be kidnapped by an alien, taken upon their spaceship, and have things done, whatever that is.
Right.
It's not the royal treatment.
But,
I don't think
you know,
I don't think I want to have things done to me. But yeah.
Oh, it's consensual, obviously.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
So Tasha, I
right.
mean,
But she has
yeah, what do you think? Does that
she
sound
doesn't
crazy to
have
you?
it seems kind of crazy to me. I don't know if this is media driven, and I know that she has basically replaced one belief system with a belief in aliens. But and I thought this might just be just her, but then in my travels through the world, I've talked to other people who are like, yeah, the aliens designed us and put us here. So it's not just her, but she's not
Yeah.
talking with these other people. They're not organized. They're not going to a building once a week to visit each other.
Yeah.
So what qualifies as a religion? And is this like, are we watching the beginnings of a new religion?
I doubt it. I mean, somebody could, or to my view, religion has to be organized, and there's money involved. Somebody has to be making money for it to be a legitimate religion, because that seems to be the primary motivator there, and control. In my view, if nobody now, if there are enough of these people floating around who have these alien beliefs, if you will, it seems ripe. I'm thinking to myself, this might be an opportunity for me I haven't really seized upon,
Yeah.
because I'm charismatic. I can be a leader. I think I could form a religion around this. But no, I would have to suspend too much rational thinking, and I'm not very good at that anymore. But I think somebody could organize it and make it a religion. The internet is a tool that allows people to do that. But as to my knowledge yet, I haven't seen evidence of anyone doing that. So I think it probably is just people who have similar ideas that find each other here and there and share these ideas that seem to be in common in some ways. I don't know. What do you think, Johnny?
Yeah, I think you'd have to. I guess we won't find out because it'd probably take like 100 years or so. But I I think that in order for it to form into a religion, you've gonna have to have a, a bit of dogma, a bit of orthodoxy, right? There need to have community.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine forming around this core belief, a stratification, perhaps. Maybe I'm looking at it too much in the form of like a Western religion, but even Buddhism has it kind of priestly class,
Yeah.
followers, various segmented society according to the belief system, a universal uh, viewpoint. I don't think we have that yet. I guess it could form, but I don't think there is an orthodox view of aliens have seeded the planet. Somebody in the comment made some reference to the movie Prometheus. It is kind of like that. But we know that it used to be that that sort of hocus pocus people believed in angels and pixies and fairies for a long, long time. They still do. But what was more dominant, and now it's extraterrestrials and harmony of the spheres and various things like that. I think this is just the latest iteration of loosey goosey spiritualism with a
Mm.
pseudoscientific flavor to it. We know that there are other stars and that there are other planets, or at least we have lots of evidence for it.
Yeah, and aliens are possible. We don't to
Yeah,
assume that we're the only
yeah,
inhabited planet is a bit arrogant, in my view. But Tasha, why do you think your friend has latched onto this? What do you think's
yeah.
behind that?
Well, I am wondering if because she was raised in the Catholic Church, like I keep wondering why people even care how the earth got here, how we got here. I mean, everything
I'll
was
tell you why.
here as far as I can remember, and I expect it all to be here tomorrow. And
Thank
that's
you.
been
I've been
for
saying
me.
that forever. Thank you.
And
Yep.
I have never I've never needed, like, it's Big Bang and all that, very interesting, but whatever. I'm it's not my particular interest.
Yeah.
Yep.
And but I think perhaps because she was posed these questions as a child, and she expects this need to fulfill an answer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she doesn't believe the Catholic answer anymore. She must find an answer somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
There's a discomfort a lot of people have with just simply saying, I don't know. It seems
Yeah.
to be the three hardest words for many people to say. And when someone asks me, well, how do we get here then if it's not God? I'm okay with saying, you know what, I don't know. Smarter people than me have some pretty good ideas. But to your point, Tasha, and this is what I've said on many shows like this, I don't really give a shit. We're here now. We got here somehow. What I don't see is any God anywhere doing anything for anyone. Period. That's what we need to be talking about. What's this God doing who supposedly put us here? So I don't know. Your friend is a lot like many people I've run into. They have a need to believe in something because it's uncomfortable to say I don't know,
Yeah.
and they want to be a part of something bigger than themselves. When I deconstructed from my Christian faith, I came to a place pretty quickly of saying, you know what, I don't believe any religion of any God, any kind of thing. I don't feel the need to have faith in anything. I'm okay living in a world of logic and reason and evidence. And what I don't have evidence for and what doesn't make sense to me, I'm okay with setting it to the side until it does make sense and I do have evidence. And that to me has been a much more reasonable way to live. But some people just really have a problem not believing in something. And I don't really know what's behind that other than the insecurity of living in a world that's just chaotic and random and unpredictable. And that can be a very fearful place to live. And so
Yeah.
we want to make up stories that make more sense than it really does. And I suspect that's what's behind a lot of people's need to believe in something.
Yeah. I would
so
add to that.
is
Oh,
it
go ahead. Go
is
ahead.
it
Never
an
mind.
insidious trick to propose these questions to people that aren't even asking them?
What
No.
questions do you mean? What
Yeah.
do you
Is
mean
it a
pose? What?
manipulation to ask a child, like, where did the world come from, and then give them the answer? Like, it seems to me that a lot of actually every religion I know of has a
Yeah.
creation story.
Right.
So is that just once you figure out that trick of asking that question, now you have a manipulative hold on people, and they would never have asked that question themselves?
I don't think that there's a few things I'd like to pull apart there. One, I don't have any kids that I know of. And I think we ask children questions to 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 make them think about the world, right? We ask them, how did that happen, or why do you think that is? and that's a good way of getting them to think. Let their
Hmm.
imaginations stretch, and maybe not giving them the answers. That's, I think, is the insidious part of it, right? But asking the question, there's nothing wrong with it. I have nieces and nephews, right? And I've been around kids my whole life in one form or another, and I like to joke with kids, right? I'll tell them, obvious lies. Like when I was your age, I had to walk up, I had to walk to school in the blizzard both ways,
That was
that kind of
true in
stuff.
my case. That was
Yeah,
true in my
right.
case.
And then they'll say, "You're lying. You're a liar, faker," and things like that. Like, "Oh, I'm not lying." And then you're preparing them for critical thinking. I guess it's also fun because they throw things at you, and kids can be fun that way, right? But asking those questions are great. I think giving them an answer and then not encouraging the questions is what's insidious.
Hmm.
And we hear this a lot. Who's was it Freedom from Religion Foundation? The founder asked something where it was, if if Jesus isn't real, then whose slave am I? Right? Or some quote like that. That's the kind of thinking that I think is broken. But by asking the question, how did the world get here? Who created the world? You are opening yourself up to the idea that no one did. Like, well, why has it got to be a who? You've got to teach that
Hmm.
critical thinking. So, um, I don't think there's anything wrong with asking the question. I think it's like putting a stop to the questioning is where the problem is. It should never stop. The questioning should always continue.
Yeah, questioning that is, or when parents are questioning children with a predetermined answer, which is indoctrination. Most people who grow up in a particular faith are indoctrinated at a young age, and that's parents force feeding the answers to the universe to their children because they believe it's important for their children to believe the right things. I did that as a parent, as a Christian parent. I taught my children what to believe, not what to think, not how to think. That was wrong. I've recognized that now, and so to Johnny's point, that to ask questions of kids or to stimulate their questioning and their curiosity is a good thing. It causes them to think about big questions and to look for answers, but to force feed answers to them that would correlate with the worldview that we want them to have because we know, quote unquote, that it's right. That's indoctrination, and that is insidious. We don't think it's insidious at the time. We're not trying to be Dr. Evil here. We're just doing what we're been taught to do and train up a child in the way they should go, kind of thing, what the Bible instructed us to do. So Christians who indoctrinate their children think that they're doing a good thing for them because they want them to be on the right side of the God question in their view. But actually just feeding questions, how do you think we got here? What's the world all about? That's a good thing.
Yep.
Stimulate creativity, I mean curiosity and questioning, question everything is a good mantra to give kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you think about that, Tasha?
I think math, science, and debate class would be a pretty good solution.
Yeah.
The those things are teaching logic, and with science, you have to design experiments and try to analyze things, which is
Hmm.
a second question, if I may. I've heard
Yes.
a lot of people say that atheism is a religion, but by your own definition, it's not collecting money and it's not meeting together every week in a building.
It can be.
So it wouldn't qualify. You could.
Or
Yeah.
it's more
But
more importantly to that, it's not a belief system.
Yeah.
To Johnny's point earlier, it doesn't have a theology around it. It doesn't have any
Yeah.
dogma. There's no one central set of tenets.
I would
It's not a belief.
disagree.
How
Okay.
so?
I would disagree. It's a belief that logic and evidence can give you truth. That is a belief.
No, logic and evidence don't give us truth. Evidence reveals what's true, and logic points us in the direction of what's true. But a belief system is something where I am stating a belief that I have to back up with evidence or some kind of support. I don't, as an atheist, I mean, tell me what my belief system would be as an atheist.
Yeah.
An atheist simply says, I don't believe in a God. I don't see enough evidence to believe in a God. That's my definition of an atheist, period.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the end of it.
But you're already asserting that you would accept evidence. So the fact that you can rely on
That's not belief.
logic,
That's not.
analysis, and evidence,
Okay.
that you trust logic, you believe that logic is trustworthy.
Sure. Tasha, is a courtroom a religion as well?
Well, that's the question of the day for me, is what ends up qualifying as a religion. Are aliens a religion? Well, they're not meeting in a building, and they're not collecting money, and they're not organized.
Yeah.
So it seems like the qualifications to be a religion, I was thinking it was like an origin myth and a being watching over you.
It can be.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not.
To be
I'm
her
not an
belief.
authority on what. I'm not
That's-
an authority on what constitutes a religion. I don't think possibly anyone is. Anything can be. You can be religious about anything. That phrase. He was religious about his workout routine. He
It's a
worked out
metaphor.
religiously.
It's a metaphor.
It's just an ideology that means that you are adhering to something that's very important to you.
dedicated to a course
Yeah.
of action. That's a metaphor, though. It's not like it's not like I work out pretty regularly.
I don't.
I'm not religious about it. I don't have rites and ceremonies. I mean, I guess I pay for gym like equipment and stuff like that, but I try to eat healthy.
Oh,
But
do you go to a building with other people who also practice this belief?
I don't, because I don't like people to
Ooh.
see me sweat.
Johnny's
So,
in
no,
workout religion.
I work out at home. But I think the difference is, again, that there's all those other qualities, because if you're talking about reliance upon logic and reasoning and evidence and things like that, I mentioned a courtroom. The legal system around the world, whatever it might be, that's not a religion. So it's got to be more than that. It's got to be
Mhm.
more than devotion to a certain idea, because then every fandom is a religion. It's got to be more than just these small elements. It's all these things put together. And I do believe that what we had talked about earlier, about there being certain rites and ceremonies, the hierarchy and orthodoxy, dogma, stratification of society, a worldview, certain views, all those things together. And I will tell you, atheism, the atheists that I know, they're all very different. Ask 15 atheists what they think about a particular issue. You'll get 16 answers. We're at each other's.
Somebody like
Yeah.
me will have two answers. So
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
are you religious about, Tasha? What in terms of what we've been talking about, what would your thing be?
Well, my spiritual journey is kind of really odd and unique, because I was raised in a household that believed you should never discuss religion or beliefs, that people must come to them on their own.
Mm-hmm.
So I have my own little personal belief system that I came to by myself, and I'm still not ready to talk to other people about it.
You don't have to. That's your business.
Yeah, no, you don't. Not at all. And you're
But-
fine. That's why you called in to talk about your friend's belief system instead of yours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm still working on my own, but
we all are.
about what
Honestly,
constitutes a religion.
Yeah, we all are working on it. I think that's a good point. I left evangelical Christianity about a dozen years ago, and since then I've identified as an atheist, an agnostic, a humanist, a free thinker, all those things, because atheist simply, to me, as I stated before, simply means I do not see enough evidence to believe in a God. Therefore, I am atheist. I'm not theist. What my worldview is would be more of a humanist. I believe in humanity, the goodness of humans, that we all make our own fate, we make our own meaning, and therein lies the goodness of humanity. That doesn't mean we're all good all the time. Some of us can do bad things and hurt people, but we have the capacity to to repair that and make amends for that and so on. But I'm always open to learning new things and gaining new information and changing. I believe if we quit changing, we quit growing, and we quit becoming the better version of ourselves. I want to be the best version of myself when I die that I've ever been. I don't want to get stuck in a rut, stuck in a way of thinking that I can't be moved from. If you give me good evidence or good logic for something, I'm open to changing my mind. And I think that's a good, solid position from which to live.
Agreed.
It works for me.
Agreed. All right, Tasha, we really appreciate your call. When you're ready to talk about your own personal belief system,
Bring it, girl. Let's
yeah,
talk
come
about
on
it.
down. Come here or go to Talk Heathen. They're a little nicer there. Although I think we're pretty nice today. I think
Oh, we're
pretty
damn nice.